my rock. Blessed be the Lord, 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 my rock. Blessed be Isaac back in the house. Blessed be Isaac wherever he is. Blessed be the memory of Isaac. Rain watering the garden. Blessed be the gentle rain watering the garden. Blessed be the gentle rain watering the garden.
Blessed be the many big bobs around the land.
Be the many big bobs around the land.
Blessed be the many big bobs around the land.
Blessed be the many big bobs around the land.
Be the many big bobs around the land.
Blessed be the many big bobs around the land. a story. And it's the story of the fox woman and the hunter. You may remember, I tell that story sometimes, you may not remember it at all. It may mean something to you, it may not mean anything to you at all. That's okay. But the story, and I may stop telling it after a while, like maybe tomorrow, is told by another storyteller by the name of Martin Shaw. And I thought it'd be good to hear his version of the story tonight. Is that what we have on the computer tonight?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, okay. All right, let's hear Martin Shaw's version. This is the hunter and the fox woman. Is that Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah,
Okay. How did she get this story?
she's in an ad.
22 days ago, I started using the Japanese pink salt recipe, but I had to stop because I was losing weight way too fast. Just look at how slim my face is now. And the one who helped me was Dr. Now. Watch the video he sent me right after this.
No fluff. Let's get straight to the point. Apple cider vinegar, coffee.
So let's begin with a story. Once upon a time, long time ago, there was a hunter. And it's the end of the day, and he's feeling a little bit like you do sometimes. He's tired, his boots are wet, and he's coming back to his little hut. He sees something that really frightens him. He sees a trail of blue smoke coming from the hut. Someone's in there. As he comes to the door and he peers in, this is what he sees. He sees that someone has prepared him a meal. He sees that someone has bothered to get his raggedy pile of clothes washed and a little bit sewn up. No one's ever been kind to him before. That's the important thing. No one's been kind like that. All week, this goes on. Till finally, on Friday, and I think you would have done this a little earlier than him, he comes home early. You would, wouldn't you? He comes up to the door, peers in, and this is what he sees. There's a woman in the hut. Her back is turned to him, and she's cooking. And as she's cooking, she's singing in some old language that it is difficult for us to even think about anymore. Old words. And as he looks at her, and he can see she has a river of dark red hair down her back, he knows, in the way that hunters know, that this is fox woman dreaming. This woman is part fox, part woman, and part spirit of the forest. She knows in the way that all women know when you're being watched. So she just turns absolutely unaffected by the whole thing, and she says this: I will be the woman of this hut. Very Fernando. I will be the woman of this hut. And the hunter looks at her, and he recognizes a good thing when he sees it, and he says, yeah. Yeah. It's a very sweet night they had that night. You know, we've all had a few nights like this where there's a little candle in an old bottle, empty bottle of wine, and the food is good. Turns out she knows a lot of jokes. Turns out she knows a lot of songs. Turns out he knows a few stories. And slowly, between them, love is wrapping its swan feather cloak around them. We're all a little jealous to this day. But you got to know that all fox women have a pelt. You all have pelts. And the way she dealt with her pelt was this: she hung it on the back of the door. It was just there glittering, that deep red, like little sparks of fire coming from it. And some of you will know, if you've ever been close to a fox, that their pelt gives off quite a strong scent, a wild, regal scent, let's call it, but it's strong. And as the weeks turn into months and she's living in the hut, that pelt really starts to give off its scent. It gets into the mind of the hunter. It gets into the clothes of the hunter. It gets into everything. Till one night, He's sitting down there at the table again, and there's the little candle, the whole scene, and he says something like this. Bright pulse of my whole understanding, sky woman of the dawn, blossoming branch, you are whiter than the swan on the pool, you are more tuneful than the fiddle. When I met you, I thought the moon herself had fallen out of the sky into a bed of wild flowers and was singing an old tune I had waited my whole life to hear. But there's just this one thing. There's just this one thing. It's the pelt. It's awfully strong. Now, I'm not saying burn the pelt. I'm not saying the pelt is bad. But in a little domestic situation like this, it's overwhelming. Would you consider just taking your pelt somewhere, hang it off a tree, hang it outside, but move it out of our little love den? And she looked at him like you looked at him, with that disappointment. And she thought, well, maybe it's a phase, and said nothing. Didn't move the pelt. Goes on. Now, it's all he can smell is the pelt. Until one night at dinner, maybe he's had a little bit too much wine, and the charm has left his language, and the goodness has left his heart, and he just slams his fist down on the table, and he said, listen, I told you once already, get rid of the pelt. And in the morning when he woke up, the fox woman was gone, the pelt was gone, and the scent was gone. And they say and say truly, to this day, the hunter stands lonely in his whole body at the entrance of the hut for the scent of the fox woman. Lonely in his whole body for the scent of the fox woman. That's the story. This tiny little 5-minute story that is as deep as Shakespeare, isn't it? A little story that you could tell it to your daughters, you could tell it to your sons, you could tell it to your parents. We've got a lot of wallop. Somewhere in history we've done that. Somewhere in history we have exiled the fox woman. And I say in my language as truthfully as I can that the MA in mythology is nothing more than an attempt to sing across the snow to the fox woman. That's truly what it is.
So that's the story. Any thoughts, responses?
The number one.
The story. Not Oprah Winfrey, but the story.
I was kind of accustomed to hearing it in that with more of an Irish accent. It's a different way of hearing it. But he added some things, like the old song. That element, I don't recall even that.
Right, so when I ask for a response, try not to compare his telling of it to my telling of it, but I'm asking more for a heartfelt response to the story as he told it in this moment. I mean, in the moment, like a Tim's mindfulness session moment. Yeah. Any response?
See, what I heard was both were lacking compromise.
Say again?
Both were lacking compromise.
Both were lacking
Compromise.
compromise. All right.
Yeah. And because of that, it led to just not being with each other at all.
Yeah, I got more of that sense too. He really emphasized the strength as a scent. Like, it was more than just the man becoming dissatisfied with it, but it was like overpowering the man.
Mm-hmm.
And he just could not deal with that.
Right.
And then he stuck, what do I do? And Michael said she didn't seem to want to compromise about it, so just kind of a crappy ending because of it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Any other thoughts? Did it bring up any feeling in you? So I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions. Pretend we're at the folklore doctors conference or meeting, and you walk into the office and the folklorist asks you these questions after you hear a story. What did it bring up in you that was deeply personal? What personal, I'm going to emphasize personal, what personal memory, experience, feeling came up in you? Now, if you notice in the beginning of the story, this is true for all these stories, there's always a moment of shock. There's always a moment of like a Zen moment when the Zen master goes on your forehead. You know, if you don't feel that, you probably haven't heard the story. That's just the way it works. These stories are meant to be heard around a fire at night, in the forest, in the camp, wherever we are, in the ancestral realm. And they're meant like to open our eyes, sometimes literally, to our own feeling, experience, struggles, suffering. And in this case, notice at the beginning, when the hunter returns, according to Martin Shaw, what's the first response of the hunter? Fear. Right? He's frightened by what he sees in his hut. Now, that's kind of a metaphorical way to say he's frightened by what he sees in himself. It's fear. When he looks within, he sees fear. And then, suddenly, the fear is transformed. I can't imagine what kind of meal she prepared, but the fear is transformed into, wow, delight, you know, embracing the moment, so to speak. And everything's good, you know, because he's committing himself, he's entering into, he's engaging with the fox woman. And everything's wonderful until it isn't. So the journey goes deeper. The inner exploration goes deeper over months until he discovers that one thing. Right? Jesus spoke about the one thing and said, if you find the one thing, he called it the pearl of great price. Give everything away and get it, because that's your one thing. Right? This is a different kind of one thing. Okay, it's not the same. This is the one thing that is challenging to you, that is going to cause you to either fight or flee. It's the one thing that you're called upon to embrace, to engage in, or not. But the fox woman, who, by the way, in these stories is, as Martin Shaw said, represents the spirit of the forest, or in Christian terms we can say the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, who invites us to engage, invites us to go deeper. And the hunter, after a while, basically says, I don't really want that. Okay. And what's it called in the story? The smell of the fox. Whatever that is to you. It's that one thing that you don't like, that you don't want. And the Spirit says, go there, do this. And after a while, the hunter basically says to the Spirit, the fox says, no, this is not good. And she, being the elegant, graceful spirit of the forest that she is, says, okay, I'm out of here. It has so many dimensions, but basically the story calls us to inner work, calls us to do the work, as David White would say, or to take the step we don't want to take. It's that kind of inner work. So there's somebody visiting us at the end of this week, who may be watching at the moment. Are we on Candy Camera? Okay. And who loves this story, who wants to explore this story. So I would encourage you all to this week, for our guests' sake, for everybody's sake, to explore this story a little more. Go deeper. If you can, go deeper. And ask yourself, what is the one thing for me? What is it that I'm having trouble doing? The one thing that is the smell of fox for me. And trust me, there's always one thing. There's always one thing. No matter how spiritually elevated or advanced we think we might get, there's always going to be one thing. It's what keeps us humble, or makes us humble, or not. At any rate, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay? There's always one thing. So have fun with it, and hope the smell of fox is really strong this week for you. The work is good and invigorating. We'll close with a song. When the night is falling and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is falling and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is falling and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is falling and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is falling and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. At the close of this day, a story, perhaps thousands of years old. May we hear the story. May the story speak to us in ways unknown, never before heard. And may we discover something new about ourselves and not send the foxwoman away, but embrace and engage, no matter how strong the scent. May it be so.